Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vic. This week we're going to be taking a look at something slightly different. It's not a painting of mine, well it kind of is, but it isn't. I'm going to be showing you a painting I created using AI. So for those of you not familiar with AI, artificial intelligence, it's a programming app. There's lots of apps using AI, and in this case I used one which would recreate an image from my original painting. Now, AI is used a lot by journalists and people writing text and things like that. It helps them create pieces of writing very, very quickly. I personally don't think sometimes it's used in a very good way, but I hadn't really seen much firsthand in the way of imagery, apart from things that people had put on social media that it's obviously wrong, where they've kind of, I suppose, in the old-fashioned way you say, superimposed things or made people look to be doing things that it wasn't really them. Yeah, so I've seen it obviously used in that way. Hadn't actually used or seen it used to create a painting reimagined, for want of a better expression. I hate that word reimagine, but to basically redo an existing original painting. Now, so what I thought I would do, I uploaded an app. Didn't take me long. I just went on the App Store, just had a look for the one that had the most ratings, downloaded it, didn't cost me anything, and then it asked me to upload an image. So I uploaded this image here, which I'm going to show you now. So this was the image I used. As I say, this image here, I kind of chose it for a couple of reasons, but mainly for the colours. It's quite bright, but also the composition I thought was quite fixed in a way, because you've got this kind of center rotation thing. I wondered how it was going to deal with that, what it was actually going to do with that. In my mind, I kind of had it thinking it was going to make it a kind of a swirly squiggle or something like that, completely distort the whole thing. I was slightly shocked when after 20 seconds, it brought up this image. Now, this is the image that the AI app produced, and I was slightly stunned actually, because it kept some key elements of the original painting. So it kept kind of this keystone image along the side. It utilized that, altered it slightly, so it kind of changed those into various shapes. But it did still keep the structure in a way. I could recognize it from the original. It did keep exactly the same colors. It didn't really change the tone. It kept the background. And so I personally, I thought if anybody's familiar with my work, they could probably take a look at that and think, that looks a bit like something that Vic would produce. And I don't think that's a unfair assumption to say that, really, if you're familiar with my work. So I was kind of shocked, but the more shocking element of the experience was the fact that not only did it produce one regeneration of the original painting, it produced 6. And it produced 6 variations on the same one. And it would allow me to actually print on demand. I could choose the size, I could choose the kind of paper I wanted, I could choose if I wanted to change the tone of it. But the thing that surprised me the most, was the most unsettling, was the fact that in this program, it actually eradicated my signature from the piece of artwork. Now, that was the thing that I found most kind of disturbing. Wasn't the fact that it could completely rejuggle the whole composition. I was impressed with that. I was impressed with the end result. I actually liked the end result. I liked the colour. That I'm really, really happy with that. I'd be quite happy if I'd painted that. But what I found slightly disturbing, and I couldn't understand why, in that program was something written to spot a signature and eradicate that, erase it from the AI generated version that it produced. And I think that is the sad thing, really. If it would have kept that, I would be quite happy with that, to be honest, because I'm not asking for a lot. I would just asking for a bit of credit for the actual original I supplied to enable me and whoever to be able to do that that variation, that AI composition of the original piece. But to have my name eradicated from it, and then somebody else could insert theirs, I find a bit weird, and I find that a bit disturbing and not very satisfactory. That's the downside. On the plus side, I can't deny it was very clever. It was really good. It was quick. It was impressive. It was very easy. If I wanted to use it, yep, I could produce variations of my own artwork very quickly, very cheaply, print on demand. I could dispatch anywhere around the world. So it ticks a lot of buttons for me. I could actually use that to my advantage. Whether I will, not too sure. Time will tell. But I think the downside was it almost felt like it had been aimed at somebody who wanted to uplift something from somebody else and pass it off as their own. That was a disturbing side to it, and I think that was a shame, because yeah, people are going to be doing that all the time, and they do it now, so that's fine. But it was a shame, really, because I didn't really think it was going to do that as swiftly and simply as it did. So going forward, let me know what you think about that. Do you think that is a satisfactory program for somebody to be running, and for people to have the ability to just uplift any image off the internet? And you can do it off the internet, because it will actually erase any watermark or anything like that. So, you know, if like me, you've been putting watermarks on things thinking, oh, that will protect the artwork. No, that'll erase that. You know, in a flash, that'll be gone. Your signature, goodbye, that'll be gone as well. So that's a disturbing thing. On the plus side, it does allow you to recreate things very fast and cheaply. The downside also is the fact that if people are going to be using this going forward for like decades to come, people like me are not going to be producing original artwork. Why would you sit down for 3 months and produce something if somebody's just come along and reproduce something off the internet in 20 seconds and start selling it? Absolutely no point, because I would want to be doing the same thing. So what will happen to original artwork in years to come? Will you have less and less of original art? And the answer is simply yes, you will do. Because although you're going to have people privately painting and stuff like that, you're going to have less and less prolific artists producing original artwork. You're going to have less and less famous original artists, because there's just not going to be the need for it. People can cherry pick off the internet, and they're going to be doing that. And they're probably going to be picking stuff, you know, in 100, 200 years' time, they're going to be still picking out their sort of Van Goghs and their Kandinskis and things like that and reworking them. You're not going to have anything new come along, because there's no need for it. You're going to be reworking the stuff that's already there. And then that leads us on to another question. If you're reworking an AI image, what do you end up with? Do you end up with anything that is recognizable from the original or not? My gut feeling is probably not. It's like anything. It's going to be diluted and diluted and reworked and reworked. And although AI is going to be able to replicate it absolutely perfectly, and that is obviously is a program, because that's all it is, it's going to miss out on key elements. So with a person, with an artist with a brain, eyes and a talent, you can put things like, you can put the composition, you can put the color, you can put texture, you can do a lot of things all together all at once. You can put them all into one big package and you can produce a piece of artwork. With AI, I think it's going to put things into compartments. So it's going to deal with composition, it's going to deal with the color. If there's a texture, it's going to deal with the texture, or give it a kind of make pretend texture. It's not going to do everything as clearly and as seamlessly as a brain would do. A brain always has a slight twist to it. It's going to put, you can see something you've done and put a slight different turn on an element of it. You can tweak it. You can exaggerate something if you feel it needs kind of a bit more emphasis. I don't think AI is going to do that, but I might be wrong. Prove me wrong. So let me know your thoughts on that. What's your thoughts on AI for art? Have you used it? Does it give you perhaps a bit of an interest to go upload something, have a go yourself? So I'll be interested to see what you think about it. Is it the future? Is it a fad? Will it die out? Will people be bothered to actually do it themselves? Because after all, you've still got to upload an image, and people's time span for actually doing things is very, very limited indeed. So will they be bothered to actually do something themselves? I'm not so sure they would. They want it quick, pre-done. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts on that. Drop a comment below. And as usual, I'll see you in next week's video. So you take care. Thanks a lot for viewing. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Cheerio for now. Bye.